If you wear your data protection officer hat, and for the data protection, there's something called DPMP, Data Protection Management Program. Based on the usefulness of this model, can this actually help the DPO from the integrated GRC capability perspective, as you are seeing here in front of us?
Yeah, this GRC capability will allow the DPO to not just be very siloed in looking at it from a data protection perspective, but look at it from a business as well as organization perspective. A case in point will be, for example, in Japan, recently Toyota did mention that their supply chain was being disrupted because of some attacks. Now, you know that if there are all these things that's coming into place, that means the external environment is evolving. And I think if you are at that same table as the GRC folks, then what happens? You get an awareness of these are potential risks that we should look at. And then what do you do? And then you make sure that you take preventive measures straight away. Because if it could happen to somebody, it could happen to you. You don't want to be the last one standing, not taking any action. Now, the other context of it is also knowing the stakeholders that within the organization, because I think right now, when you look at vendors, for example, you will know that if you are sitting in the table, then you realize that there's some negotiations, some criteria being spelled out for certain vendors where you're going to use and what have you, and it could be a preferred vendor and everything else. But I guess this is where you can then wear your hat and say, look, I know this is the company's objective, but by the way, there are some of these considerations that we're going to look at. And not just looking at a vendor from the data protection perspective or cybersecurity perspective, but from the basis of track record of what this vendor has not done and what are some of the peculiarities that you're seeing from certain vendors. And I think then you will be able to contribute meaningfully to a discussion from a GRC perspective, and even location of where the vendors are. These are all issues along the way. So these are good examples of how the DPOs can be looking at GRC as a way for you to be a bigger part of the organization and not be siloed in just looking at data protection.
And the focus, as you said, is on the business objective. Link your risk management, link your compliance, link your programs to the objective.
For more data protection resources, visit www.dpaxnetwork.org, the Data Protection Excellence Network, and sign up for free as a member to have full access to all content. Do also like and follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn if you found this useful.